Yeah. So I guess a question that a lot of people will ask who are struggling, why do rehab again if the real work is outside, right? We know we go into rehab and then we come out, and why go to rehab again? Because we often tell people, like, if you're struggling a lot, if you're medically at that point where you're dependent, go to rehab. And I can see, because I had been on that other side. I don't want to keep doing this thing over and over again. I know what the end result's going to be, right? I'm just going to come out and drink again. I need to learn how to live in the real life, not be in a rehab. So why do we keep telling people to go back? Why do we keep going back?
All right. So I know why I went back. So the first time I went back is because I was living in a recovery house, and if I wanted to stay in a recovery house, I had to go back to rehab. The second time I went back was because I was like, I was definitely like missing something because this keeps happening. I wasn't like, and I was hoping, I was like, I need something without the bells and whistles, because I was thinking about how many times I went to rehab and I was just there for like the gym or the yoga or like the things, and I was just like, I need to go. Like, I need to go and focus this time and get what I can out of it. And then the last time I went, it was kind of that same thing. It's just like, okay, I had gotten like all of this time, or no, it was more of like, okay, you keep doing this, like, and you're putting together these stretches of time, like, what is going on? Like, you need to go figure this out. Like, because something, and the last time it was during COVID, so like, also I thought maybe there was something about this particular point of time of like just that there's something that I need to learn from. And ultimately I stopped going back to rehabs when I made a conscious decision that I was going to take life slower. Right? Like, because a lot of times, and I can speak for myself, when I came out, I was just like, okay, I got to go into this recovery house, and I got to go into, then I got to get a job, and I got to save this amount of money, and I got to do this thing, and then in this amount of time, I need to be out of this recovery house and on. And then I decided the last time, it's like, look, no matter what happens, I'm staying in this recovery house for a year. I could hit the lottery, and I'm still staying here for a year. Doesn't fucking matter. I'm just going to be here, and like, I'm not going to worry about anything else outside of that. And I think that sometimes it takes that experience of getting to a point where you don't worry about anything else outside of recovery, because like, yeah, we learn all of the things, and like, sometimes you could tell, I guess, that like you weren't paying attention. Like, yeah, like you were listening for some facts, but you were listening for facts so you can use them as arguments later. You weren't listening to like learn and figure out and like grow, you know? So until somebody listens to grow and doesn't listen just to like, or doesn't use it as a vacation, or like use it as a time to dry out, like, I think it's a good idea to keep going back. And if you've been disconnected from like the program for a long time, or like just like out there for a long time, it's helpful, because like all of my relapses have been really short, except for the one that I went back the third time. I had been like I realized I had been high for like a week straight, and I'm like, okay. But all of my relapses have pretty much been like a night or two, and then I'm back, and I'm like right back in the program.
And that's part of the reason why, like, so I feel like I got it, or want to think that I got it all out before I started this round of sobriety. Because for me, if I pick up, I'm out. Like, it's not going to be 2 days or a weekend or a week. It's going to be I'm out for a while, and I'll probably die, because that's how I drink, and that's how like I go all in. And it's like, it will be that fuck it moment, and be like, fuck it, I gave up all this. I'm just gonna do it for a little bit. So people like you who like say they party for a weekend and then come right back, I'm like, whoo, I don't know how you do it. But it's pretty cool. It's good. It's a good thing that you were able to like hop right back into it.
It is. And and part of it is back to that mentality that I had before, right? being homeless, no. So
Facts.
when I'm like, okay, like I just spent all of my rent money and I have 2 weeks to make it back. Focus, boy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's also like if I miss work, then I won't have money. Like I used to look at it like this. And this is how I got away with it, and like a lot of people didn't know like what was going on with me. If I get arrested, if I lose my job, that is a huge hindrance to me getting fucked up.
Exactly.
And I cannot have that.
Facts.
So like that's how I looked at it. And so, I guess for me, like, and we talk about the concept of like low bottoms and high bottoms.
Yeah.
Like I've always been a high bottom because I've always been like, there's only so low that I'm willing to go.
Facts. And I feel like even me, like if I'm honest, I was a high bottom. I was emotionally low, if we can separate those two things, because what was happening inside, depression, suicide, rampant eating disorder, like not feeling like enough, all that stuff, my emotions were low. But like my functioning for most of it, I'm still, I would not survive on the streets of Kensington. Like I would be someone's bitch real quick. Like I am not able to, I just don't come from that. Like I'm not going to be homeless. I'm not going to be without good food. I like to eat. Someone who has bulimia who likes food is kind of crazy, but that's me. And yeah, so it's just like, no, I still have those like my survival needs still need to be met. Not to say that if I were to go back out, it wouldn't eventually get to that point, because I hear that story all the time.
Right.
People who eventually do, even with, all the desire in them to function, there comes a point where they can't even anymore. And so I know that that's out there waiting for me. But like me with this cognition that I still have, I need money. I still need to be, taken care of. I still need a house. I still need food, whatever. Yeah.
Well, technically, you can't be bulimic without eating food first. So
stop it. Stop it. A bulimic foodie is what I meant. Like I love food. I just don't like to keep it in me. I'm in recovery for that too, though. So just throw that out there.
On that note, one thing that we gain from sobriety is being able to joke about this shit.
Oh, true. That's so true. Like, and only people who've been through this would understand why we're laughing, right? But we can laugh now, and that's cool.
Yeah. Sorry.
Even though it's kind of, what is it? Dry humor, sick
dark
humor, dark humor.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Nah, it's all good. But yeah, like, so I went back for a couple of reasons. Like we started talking about before, certain drugs, alcohol, benzos, right? Certain ones, it's medically dangerous to try to withdraw on your own. And so those, sometimes it's better to be under the supervision of a doctor, the medical detox part. And so like for me being on alcohol, it was safer to detox, go to a facility than to just try to do it on my own. I have detoxed on my own. Never really able to stick with it too long. Usually after day 3, I'm struggling. If I happen to get to 8 days, mentally I'm just a mess, right? And so I go back to drinking because that's the sadness and the mental thoughts and the shame is all coming back. So like people would say like go back to rehab, and I didn't want to, but for me it was, having that safety of 30 days to just be away from my thing. And like, yeah, I know the work. Now I know like the work is after. But if I can give myself a 30-day buffer, which I could never get on my own, then maybe I come out and I want to keep that momentum going. That's what happened this last time. It was like, I'm in there and I went in knowing that like I was really going to give it a shot this time. But on the way out, when I was coming out, I was like, okay, this is the moment. I can either go back to doing it and do this whole cycle again, or I can really try this time and just use these 14 days. It was only 14 days because my insurance was getting sick of me. They were like, I was like, I could use this 14 days and I could have this buffer and I can just keep it going. And so, yeah. And the thing about like rehab, like you said, growing and working on ourselves, right? I learned something differently each time. Not so much the detox times, the detox 3 days or 7 days. that was literally just to get it out my system. But when I went for rehab, I learned something different. Like